Hi everyone. Well, we're going to be doing something very different in the video today that I think you're really going to enjoy. Viviane Chauvet, who I'm going to be speaking to, is an Arcturian ambassador. I've never spoken publicly to an Arcturian ambassador, but I saw Viviane on the Stargate experience that some of you may be familiar with, that is brilliantly run by Pragit and Julien, and that's a superb program of channeling and meditation. And that's where I saw Viviane with her quiet wisdom and was very impressed. So I'm thrilled that she's with us today on this video. So welcome, Viviane.
Thank you very much, Pam. A pleasure to be with you and everyone watching. It's a joy to be in your presence.
Yeah, wonderful. Ditto. Ditto right back at you, Vivian. So, just to give you a little bit of background, I'm going to put all of the details and more underneath this video about Viviane's accomplishments, which are many, too many to mention here. But she's a remarkable, truly remarkable being, and she's an advanced Arcturian being, Galactic Ambassador, multi-species healer, and international teacher. Her soul avatar essence represents the true nature of the Arcturian star nation and their mastery. As an ancient oracle, she navigates star systems, assisting civilizations on the verge of evolutionary ascension, which I think is absolutely where we're at. And the Arcturians assist humanity in changing the morphic resonance of the planet. And that's something I'm going to be asking her about as well. And Viviane is an international speaker on many public forums, an author. She's also created the Arcturian Energy Matrix Healing and Healing Arts program for self-mastery, ascendancy, and metamorphosis evolution. She is also the founder of the Arcturian University for Universal Consciousness, which is a very impressive title. So I can't wait to get into all of this. So many questions I want to ask you, Viviane. But to start very simply, when did you realize that you were Arcturian and not fully human?
What a beautiful way to initiate this journey. Today, it's a journey we take on together. We take a journey beyond space, beyond time, beyond the confinement of logic mind, and we go beyond. So when did I knew? At one point of time did I realize? So this is, I would say, as early as I remember, I would say even by the age of 5, that's my marking point. But if I go a bit even further, I do have glimpses of conscious memory by the age of 6 months old as a baby. The age of 6 months was very pivotal for me because before that, I was unsure if the body or my physical form would survive in staying in this energy field of Gaia to feel the gravity of the planet. So once that was stabilized and I re-enter the body more and more energy, more consciousness, I remember Pam being sitting there at the age of 6 months, and I had no desire to move because I was in a state of contemplation. I was in a state of understanding how would I adapt to my new environment. What is my connection to the planet? Reconnecting with an old friend. I came for Gaia. She called me, and returning here and reconnecting with her beautiful planetary grid network, the vibration of her heart, the vibration of so many beings. And I remember that moment where I was coexisting a little bit more out of the body, and I was still in the body, understanding that I had returned to the earth and brought with me the frequency, the essence of who we are as an Arcturian being in this beautiful design and engineer form. And then at that moment on, at the age of 2, that was another pivotal moment for me. And then at the age of 5, it was in school, and you start to get an early stage of education. You go to school, you interact with social interaction with children. And I was sitting there in a classroom and watching the interaction of human beings, human children versus the adults, how the interaction or the relationship between children and authority. What was their expectation? The way they were communicating with them, the vibration of their communication, what they were asking the children to do, which I found very illogical to me.
Yeah.
I remember that. And I would ask the teacher, why would you ask me to do such thing? I failed to see the purpose of it. And so the next thing they would do is to call my mother, my human mother, says, your child is really brilliant. She defies the authority. And my mom would shake her head. She says, there's no defiance here. She's a very curious being. And it's true. I was very curious to understand what was the purpose of this. And so I remember that. And I'm a 5-year-old child to your perspective, but from inside perspective in my soul, I know that I am a visitor onto another planet, another star system, a complete different fabric of a reality that you identify as the 3D matrix. And that's always been this way my entire life moving forward. So, of course, I'm a lot more integrated today, much more in tune with, my human experience, understanding the protocols here, social boundaries, core values. I feel how the global consciousness is evolving. This is why eventually my Arcturian father said, okay, the next level, you're going to step into the cosmic teacher role, to bring back some of the most fundamental concept or spiritual concept rediscovered through the mastery and the wisdom of the Arcturians. But it's been an ongoing process. So my entire life, I perceived myself as I am in my true nature as an Arcturian being who have accepted a grand mission, a mission of love, a mission of devotion, a mission to allow an entire species, multitude of sentient life, to reascend again, to remembering their profound and beautiful connection to the universe and the magnificence as opposed to forgetfulness of who they are. So we knew that Gaia would enter eventually that aspect of what we call the higher organic timeline of ascension.
Wow.
So it's always been I call it a grand mission of love.
Well, that's a very courageous journey that you've been on and continue to be on, Viviane. So much respect to you for that. So can I ask just some simple questions? What defines an Arcturian? Is it a frequency? Is it an energy? What defines an Arcturian versus a regular human being?
That's a fantastic question. So, what will define an Arcturian being from an Earth human or from a Sirian or an Andromedan or a celestial being? So, for one thing, is that yes, the frequency, the vibrational state, and the frequency has a unique quantum signature to us. So, you belong in a species called the human race. Although we have a humanoid form, we are non-human. So we have evolved outside of this galaxy in a completely different sphere of reality. We are millions of years old. We have achieved a level of constant state of harmonic contemplation with the Supreme Source. And we have reached what you will call the level of enlightenment and ascension thousands and thousands of years ago. So if you align different being one next to each other, first you need to identify their quantum signature. In that quantum signature, you will be able to identify what group consciousness they refer to, what state of evolution are they in, and what aspect of reality to the multiverse have they evolved from. So there's different multitude of energies, and some beings are non-human, non-humanoid, and they exist in a complete different sphere of reality, different plane of existence. We've encountered all kinds of sentient life forms that will be unable to classify because they're non-humanoid and not humans. They're completely a different aspect of creation completely. And how do you connect with these consciousness? It's really understanding, almost like there's a protocol. You have to attune yourself to understand where that group consciousness come from. And so Arcturians, not only our frequency, but we are a very unique race of humanoid and extraterrestrial beings. And we have known who we are for a long time. Plus, we're very known throughout the multiverse. We are known as great diplomats. We are known as great ambassadors. And also, we are the ones who, after time of being deployed in a star system or a homeworld, or to assist another group consciousness on the verge of a positive, really state of evolution. Think of it almost like a supernova. They're on the verge of a huge supernova. And then what we do, we come to assist. We are the great teachers. We're the placeholder. We're here to assure that the organic aspect of their timeline is respected so they can learn the lesson. They can be allowed to evolve without interference. We never interfere with evolution. We're here to assist. We're here to hold a space. We're here to implement and accelerate sometimes a frequency that allow a little bit that push in that direction that helps people either get a breakthrough or a planet to move out of alignment from an artificial time loop and being able to return into a more natural time frequency. And that time frequency is what's going to determine the natural evolution of that planet, for example.
It's really good to hear you're protecting the organic timeline. I like the sound of that a lot because there's a lot of pushback against that.
Yes.
So Viviane, do all we as human Earth beings, as it were, we all have Arcturian energy within us or not?
That's a beautiful question. So many Earth beings or human beings have an affinity for the frequencies of the Arcturians. So for example, we do have multiple point of contact on the planet. What it means, Pam, is that we're going to convey and share a soul essence of our knowledge, wisdom, technique, and sometimes healing technology with different like-minded people on the planet. And that is because prior to the incarnation, we have an agreement that we will be there as guides and helping that particular person or that group to evolve and bring a fragment of our wisdom. And that become a placeholder on wherever they are on the planet. Some souls remember having some time cycles with us. And what it means is that some souls throughout the multiverse choose to enter our realm and stay with us for a few, what you will call incarnation. We call them a time cycle. So they may choose to stay with us for a few incarnation cycles so they can learn what it feels like to be an Arcturian, to learn from our elders, to learn from our ways, and being able to acquire certain quality or lessons that the soul may need. And then the soul can either continue to evolve with us or move on onto the next evolution. So we have seen many of those souls who a long time ago have journeyed with us returning as earth human, and within their soul ancestry, they carry a frequency or a resonance where they're remembering at a soul level the time they had with the Arcturians. So there's a natural affinity. So they will say, well, I am an Arcturian. It is true to a certain perspective. Think of it this way. I'll give an example. When you look at your astrology chart, right, you're the expert in that domain, you're looking at all the houses where you place, point of communications, your rising sign, your moon, your north, your south nodes, and it will redefine the blueprint of what your soul have come to accomplish, or the markers, the main markers, and even the challenge of what you need to overcome. And there may be some wisdom that you brought from other lifetime that may reflect in your chart. Well, something similar into that effect. So the soul ancestry, we use the analogy of the tree of life. You will have your core roots, exactly what you brought, that is more soul connection. You can be a Syrian and you come directly from that group consciousness. That will be your roots. And then if you look at your branches of influence, you may have several branches that will influence you, like a branch in Arcturus, a branch in Andromeda, or a branch from the celestial being, or a branch when you were just pure consciousness or in connections with the ascended masters. Those are branches of connections and positive influence that your soul has chosen to embed it or encode in what we call your soul design. So I use the tree analogy to have a visual of it so we can relate to that, or the astrology chart. So this is why many more people remember more and more what branches or connections that influence their soul in this lifetime. And
Well,
one of the things, I'm
sorry, go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, Vivian.
Of course not. I was just, lastly, thank you for allowing me. I appreciate that. All I was going to observe is that because of the rise, the very potential, very potent rise of the global consciousness and the planetary consciousness, there are certain vibrational signature or resonance or frequencies that become more, people become more attuned with or recognized. And so therefore the frequency of the Arcturians become much more recognized. And we're able to bring in more, we're able to activate these ancient soul memories that people start to reattune to. And this is why there's been a rising of popularity in Arcturian energy. So because we're finally being able to communicate and connect deeper, because there's a momentum of consciousness on the planet.
Beautiful. Amazing. So are we all galactic beings? Do we all have cosmic origins, Vivian?
Indeed, Pam, indeed, you do. So if you look at a gene pool of the human race, you are considered by so many intergalactic enlightened groups as galactic royalties. And when we look at the human race and we interact with you, whether it's astral dreams, connecting to dream state meditation, whether it's direct communication, whether it's through inspiration, we can see the magnificence of your light. We can see the encoding of your original cosmic roots and markers right in the DNA, right in your structure of your DNA. And it really is. So there's a difference to recognize that as a race, as a species, you are galactic royalties. So I'm a visitor embodying an aspect of your race to take on this form so I can communicate with you more effectively. You can relate to my experience. You can feel like I'm much more approachable that way. But we recognize exactly who the human race are. If you look and listen to all that we do, all we offer, all the work, all the dedication, every time we speak with someone beautiful like you, the first thing we say is remembering the empowerment that you hold within yourself. This is more than spiritual concept or feeling good to the heart. It's remembering deeply your true nature. Human beings were never designed to be, at war, conflict, separated, and all of these barriers put in place by other species and other structures because they know your magnificence. These other beings understand the human race that you understand your own self. So we, the Arcturians, we call it rediscovering the sacred art of being a human.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. This is so exciting, Vivian. So I understand that we are ahead of expectation in this evolution for humanity, undoubtedly with Arcturian help. Is that true? Is that the case?
That we are
Ahead of expectation as humanity. And where are we from the Arcturian point of view in terms of that evolutionary jump that we're going to make?
another great observation. So I want to bring reassurance and good news. The overall energies that we see out in the world, whether it's throughout UK, Europe, in the United States, Canada, New Zealand, everywhere, there seems to be on the surface a lot of chaos. It feels like you're out of alignment, out of time, running out of time, and all of these cliches. What we want to really reassure you is that Gaia knows better. The planet is a very conscious and very ancient celestial being. And she communicates because she has chosen to embody the divine feminine archetypal energy of the prime creator as a garden for diversity of life. And so she, in her beautiful, majestic beauty, knows exactly what her is perfect timing frequency. And right now, Gaia is shifting out. She's releasing that alter ego of herself that we call the 3D Earth. There's different level of version of Gaia. Now we call it about a third dimensional or the third frequency. That's the frequency of physicality, exploration of the self. That will be corresponding to the first house in the chart, exploration of the self. Or you can put your Saturn, or you can put your sun sign. You can feel what will be the gift, the virtue, and what the challenge that you come to learn. So Gaia understands that each version of herself has given opportunity for all life that she hosts and nurtured to evolve at different stages. Now, right now, we are oscillating between a third density version of self, dualistic, opposition, dark and light, the pendulum swing, and out of resonance with who we are, out of resonance with each other, our star nations, our cosmic self, out of resonance with the true aspect of the divine feminine and masculine energies as intended by the prime creator, those sacred principles. And we are out of alignment with the universal laws. So this reality is construct into what's called an artificial time construct. And there's no label of bad or good. It's just, it was created a long time ago for different purposes. Now, humanity and all life, like, includes all the animals who are also sentient beings, the tree nations, the stone nations, the elementals, all the kingdom coexisting with the planet. And each planet, by the way, Pam, has their own set of elemental beings that coexist with them and also maintain the ecosystem. So the ecosystem here is really shifting, whether we see it or not, whether we feel it or not. It's shifting out of that artificial time loop or that third density matrix reality of experiences. We're moving out of what's called the self-identity or the physical identity. We're shifting into a higher fifth dimensional aspect of Gaia, known as the new Earth, the ascended Earth. Those are terms that people have heard a lot. Now we're moving into a more what's called the soul matrix reality, soul identity. So this is a place where we start to remembering that we all part of the same system fabric of life, whether you're here on the planet, whether how you affect your solar system, how you affect the galaxy called the Milky Way. I think it's a lovely name, by the way, the Milky Way. Whether it's how you're affecting also other corresponding galaxy like Andromeda. You're very connected to the Andromeda galaxy, and so forth and so forth. You start to re-understand what unity consciousness means, what living in a state of harmonic contemplation means. And you start to rediscover how your body template, what we call the original human celestial design, start to vibrate a little higher and start to hold higher frequencies of light. So your relationship to your internal universe is really opening. And you start to understand the language of your body system, all the interdimensional interface that coexists with you, known as to the chakra system, your gateway of lights, known as the nervous system, and how your DNA, what is it really made of and what its purpose. So this is, we're moving back into that space. Now, in that transition, it can be discomfort, what we call ascension symptom, physical symptoms, mental energies, emotional. You can feel like what used to be normal, we're detaching from it. What's happening? My sleep pattern is shifting. My body has different needs. Well, we simply say you're moving through different vibrational shifts. That makes sense. You feel that for a moment.
Absolutely. So we stay on the earth, but our frequency becomes heightened, and so that's linked to the expansion in consciousness and a shift into multidimensionality, but remaining on this earth.
Well, here's the thing. I know it's very complex because we're thinking about linear time.
Yes.
Linear time is that you were born, you have an history, you have your past, then you are here today, and you're thinking about a potential future, what it may fold, but it's feeling unknown to you, right? It's very linear. And we are here, we look at the astronomy, it's scientific fact, Gaia is there, the Earth, and then we see the other planet, the solar system. Your place feels very defined. Well, it's defined from a linear perspective. In reality, you are a multidimensional being. So you exist, different aspects of you exist at the same time or coexist with you at the same time as the one you're perceiving here. So think of it this way. Gaia has different potential timeline. So this is an aspect of the Arcturians that we are expert at perceiving multitude of timelines all at once. We can see all these potential timelines. There's never a prediction, it's a potential of evolution. And because we're master at advanced light frequencies and holographic advanced frequencies and technology, we can monitor and see one planet, like Gaia, your Earth, or Mother Terra, as we know her. Where is the movement? What is the movement of the change? What timeline seems to come more in alignment? And that timeline is referred to as the organic timeline because it's without interfering with false technology or introducing other factor that may create a sub branch. So when you talk about Pam, as you shape your vibration, your vibrational state, your state of awareness expand. You're starting to get into more what we call multidimensional perception. Multidimensional perception or perspective allows you to utilize also your gifts, your abilities to feel, see, integrate, connect, receive guidance, and interpret that guidance all at once. There's no need to have little compartments.
Yeah.
You become more multidimensional. So as you do that, you start to understand that naturally you're realigning yourself in that organic timeline that we call the ascending timeline of Gaia. And so there's many, many, many souls on the planet who are all over the world who came back to different generational timeline. They're reincarnated and they understand that they are here to naturally vibrate and shift naturally towards that timeline, where there are other souls who may come from other planet of similar density, from example, a third dimensional frequency through another third dimensional frequency, and it's equal in frequency and vibration. But those souls who simply came back to Gaia to learn their own path, to heal karmic residual energies, unresolved soul patterns, unresolved aspect from previous lifetime, their role is to come to heal that and to achieve that. So they may, for maybe a lifetime or two, depending, continue to evolve on what is the timeline that is in alignment with the memory of the third dimensional Gaia. And the souls will be allowed to transition naturally. There's nothing good or bad or higher or less than. It's all about soul evolution. Ultimately, what is the soul needs the most? And there's some souls who say, I achieve the physical experience and I'm going to release myself from the physical experience, whether I'm ascending or not. I'm going to choose to evolve beyond even this earth plane. And they move on. And so we speak of the beauty and yet the intelligence behind that creation that we are part of. And so our role is to really help to maintain that unified field because we exist beyond space and time, because we have very advanced level form of thought form manifestation and other aspect. We're able to really master what projection we want to maintain and how, at what level are we going to bring in more teaching frequency. And we are in sync with the timeline we're monitoring. And right now, for my role, I am here for the higher timeline. I'm here to oversee naturally and vibrationally that the aspect of this earth, this planet, and all living form already with the earth will naturally be able to be allowed to re-evolve naturally without interference.
Well, it's very good to know you, Viviane. I'm going to stick with you.
Thank you.
So it seems that right now, and several people I've been speaking with are talking about this, and I can see it in the astrology, we are going through a particular surge in cosmic energy that's helping us to advance our consciousness. I mean, as in right now, this particular week even is incredibly strong. I can see it astrologically. I'm hearing from channelers, etc. And would you share that perspective, Viviane?
Yes, there's great changes also within what we call the solar council, and that solar council represents the great central sun. So there's different change into the solar plasma light, or it's called as refined frequencies, and re-entering this dimension. And it does is that it's going to affect positively and upgrade significantly the natural grid of Gaia and the crystalline aspect of the grids. And it's also going to shift what you call the Schumann resonance and the electromagnetic field. So when we receive these refined frequencies of solar plasma energy entering the field, well, of course, it's going to affect all life on the planet, whether it's the photons of light returning, whether it's what we expose in terms of light frequency spectrum, how our body structures will receive that. Look at your nervous system. Your nervous systems are system, intelligent system of communication, universal transmission and receiver, and how the body will decode these transmission and redistribute that into the body, and how even your DNA quantum intelligence or the quantum field knows what to do with these solar transmission, and it feeds the strand of DNA that is evolving, whether it's the telomere, the codons, the structures. So you're designed to bring that energy. It's like nutrients, like nourishment. And each of these transmission are like encoded of information. And that information is very well received. The only thing about that is, again, where is your state of awareness? If you retract into fear, so if you retract your field and then the plasma light comes in, well, it will interact with you one way or another. It's just that it will complicate the ease of integration. And then that's where people feel, they feel symptoms, they feel dizzy, they're discomforted in the body, they feel like they're retracting into fear. And when we ask, what is the fear about? They have no idea. It's just the experience of fear. That's because they have retracted themselves. So allow yourself to be open and a clear conduit, to be receptive, to be more fluid and adaptable to naturally to these changes. And knowing that at a soul level, your higher self knows exactly what's happening. Your body is intelligent. You are designed to receive these influx. So if you look at even the way the planet are lying, I think recently there was a movement between Mercury and Venus.
Yeah.
That, if you look at the significance, just as one example, just Mercury, Venus come in alignment with each other, the way they communicate with each other, how it reflects to us here on the planet, it helping humanity to heal the communication aspect, opening the throat chakra, communication with the heart center energy, so that a divine opening, the heart is opening the field or the throat field, and then the throat chakra, it's finally opening itself to receive these light language, solar energy transmission, all this beautiful energy of tonal transmission, all of it, and helping you to open that conjunction. So I love when I see planet speaking to us and says, look what we are supporting you with. So just to embracing that movement. And Gaia is shifting a lot. There's new dimensional space. She's entering new axial alignment. The polar energy also is shifting. So just feel that I choose to be a part of the higher organic timeline to reascend again. Just give yourself permission, body, mind, soul, and heart, to allow that flow of adaptability and changes to take place, if that
Wow.
makes sense.
So it's about really allowing and embodying more light in this
Oh,
very accelerated phase. It's so interesting what you were saying about Mercury and Venus, because of course recently they've both been in inferior conjunction to the alignment between the sun and the earth. So they've been in a very powerful position. So it's so interesting that is so directly related. As an astrologer, I found that fascinating, so directly related to the process we are going through in this accelerated ascension, because it really seems to be so fast and getting faster.
It
And
does.
okay, okay. There's no
It does.
anytime soon, is my feeling. It's just going to keep on going at this pace.
We are in that momentum. So think about it. If you look at what you call the calendar year of 2025, okay?
Yeah.
So we call it the next cosmic gateway of movement and acceleration. So if you look at a conjunction in the timeline, let's call it a 3D word, 2025, 26, 27, just the next 3 years. We're already in it right now. You have humanity and Gaia has finally reached that momentum of quantum leap. We have reached that point. And that is this the work of generations of starseed, ancient soul coming on the planet, anchoring at different point in the historical time of Gaia, different frequencies, different soul core group energies, helping to heal the karma, going deep into hardship, depression, war, and all of it, to finally allowing the seeds to make way for the next generation of starseed and also coming in through and coming through. And then at that point, collectively, we bring all generations of starseed and ancient souls together. That field now is becoming more unified. So of course, there's an acceleration. But here's another good news. We're finally stepping out of the 3D linear time construct. This is an artificial construct. We're returning more naturally to realign in universal time because we are universal being, not linear being.
Wow, this is so exciting. So this web of light, which many people can see across the earth, which is getting stronger and stronger, that is where the momentum is in terms of carrying humanity's consciousness forward.
It does. It helps you to carry forward at the same time. The thing, the missing piece, the masterpiece, or the key piece here is that you need to show up. We need your collaboration. And now we say we, it's a very large group of sentient being or the star nations of very advanced, beautiful spiritually energies. And we need all of you on the planet, boots on the ground, all the souls who have returned a calling, whether you're 5-year-old or you're 120-year-old, it doesn't make no difference anymore. Is we need to feel that there's a desire to reunify your hearts, to reunify, to take up your power, to feel your sovereignty, to really experience deep in your heart and every cell of your being that I declare that I am a sovereign and empowered being. But the word empowered within the new linguistic field of Gaia, what it really means is that you are coming back into integration. It has nothing to do with overly pushing your solar plexus or overly pushing your masculine energy or overly pushing your throat chakra. It's about that I am at peace with who I am. I am fully integrated. So there's 3 easy keys for that. And those are very well known. The keys are self-love, complete unconditional self-love for who you are. Self-worth is really what's open up your empowerment and you unlock your crystalline core. And self-confidence is you understand, you know what you know, you're confident about what you know, you hear the guidance, you follow it, your intuition is in line. And so anybody can come and you may oscillate with the movement without being thrown out balance every time, and you have to reconstruct and re-put yourself back again. So when you are really shifting in that dynamic, which you can apply and practice every day, even through driving, to reading a book, to meditation, to how you entertain communication, how you maintain yourself, how you taking care of your physical template, everything becomes that invitation. And we always say, Pam, nothing is mundane anymore. That's part of the old construct. Oh, this is so human, or this is so mundane. Well, let's release those cliches. You're going beyond the veil. Now, ultimately, we are finally transcending beyond the veil. And that veil, so to speak, is being uplifted from your third eye, your perception, You can feel your reality. I have a question for you, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
Hmm? Have you ever experienced a moment in your life where you were taking a walk outside or in nature, or you're looking at a mountain, you're looking at the landscape, and suddenly your perception shifted? It is almost like you're looking at a painting. It almost looks like that the mountain that you look at, or the countryside, or the trees, you can almost feel they look unreal, as if they were a projection. Have you ever experienced that?
Yes, yes, I have. Yes, I absolutely have. And it's a very strange feeling, but it feels quite magical at the same time. It's quite magical. So yes, I have experienced.
Absolutely beautiful. And I felt that this is why I allow myself to ask this question. So thank you for this. So many, many more people are experiencing these moments where a wall turned into a portal, or light language appear out of thin air, or you're looking at the sky and it looks like a grid. It looks like almost like it's a projection. That's because you're starting to attune your extrasensory point. You're starting to tune in these higher quality of who you are. For a moment, you look at it and you're retracted in the 3D field. You go, huh, that was bizarre. It was magical. So I'm going to put that in my field as an experience, and then you move on. You continue on with your life. But that moment in time give you a vantage point to understand and recognize that everything in this world and in yourself is that multidimensional holographic nature. So imagine how Gaia is allowing herself to move beyond the expectation or the projection of maintaining herself in the 3D field. She's ready. This planet is ready. She's been ready for quite some time now. And the Arcturians and other advanced beings like the Andromedans, for example, and the Lyrans and many beautiful Syrians were almost like holding the bridge of to maintain that third dimensional timeline still valid to allow more being, more people, more life, a sentient life to finally recognize. And we are on that point where that bridge is going to be released. And it's beautiful. It can be magical because it's going to be a deep breath going, oh, I feel like I just woke up from a very convincing sensorial and experiential dream.
Yeah. So it feels like this year is going to be the biggest in terms of the quantum leaps we're going to make into that very different state of multidimensionality. But that would also mean, Vivian, would it, that the old world and the old world structures are going to start to collapse very quickly? I mean, they're already collapsing, but that collapse is going to be accelerated at the same time, because that must be the case. One is the inverse of the other.
Indeed. So this year, when you call the 2025 calendar year, it is truly the initiation of the cosmic gateway. So it's the beginning of releasing yourself from being trapped in that 3D veil of forgetfulness, where the structure has been reflecting that projected reality, whether it's monetary system, education, medical field, scientific, breakthroughs, physician, all of it, philosophy, spirituality, how we perceive ourselves. So we imagine releasing an old structure. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say that this beautiful land has the most historical house or building has been put there for centuries. It's a landmark that's been well known, and people from all over the world come see it. But because of the changes in the movement in the land and the infrastructure, let's say, of the country where this landmark is, there's something on the structural level that start to feel frail. And you start to feel that that structure can no longer be maintained. And so it's allowing a release of an old paradigm to release itself so it can be transmuted into a higher form. So think of it as, instead of a deconstruction, think of it as a transmutation. So for example, monetary structure, let's talk about that. The Andromedan are really involved with that. Why the Andromedan? They're beautiful being. We love them so much. And we've been friends for eons with the Arcturians and the Andromedans. Andromedans has a natural ability for their architectural ability. They're like great engineers. They're great engineers of new structures. So what they've been working on, and I've seen it myself, by the way, is that they're working on implementing or supporting the implementation of a new system that has nothing to do with exchanging currency that depends on your survival. Releasing ourselves from survival-based instinctual energies, that is the monetary system. Without money, you don't eat. We found it very quite a paradox actually for us. Going interesting. So we're going to release ourselves from this very confined and very limiting and very energy consuming structure. And instead, the Andromedan is helping this world, or this ascending world here, to bring into a new system where it can be instead exchange of gifts, exchange of services, exchange of who we are. We see that a lot with other planets where there's no monetary system at all. It's a society based on complete exchange, honoring each other, and the collective always serve the highest and the greatest good of all, while the individual recognition and uniqueness is also celebrated. It's a really beautiful system. So the Andromedan are really supporting us with this. Yes, it's going to be a transition. We understand. But please know, truly, for a moment in your heart, understand that you're living in a very organic, very intelligent, and really abundant universe. This is why releasing yourself from the karmic residuals of your past, going beyond the veil of forgetfulness, resetting, opening yourself again, you're going to start to reawaken more consciously your natural co-manifestation faculties. In other words, you're finally stepping forward in that co-creation. Instead of being do for you, you're going to be stepping forward in the co-creation and the implementation of these new systems. And it's going to be done very naturally. It's going to be done with grace, with great assistance. And I can assure you, there's so many beautiful star nations who are so ready to reconnect with their star brothers and sisters of the earth. They are ready to reconnect with you. They are ready to take their place with you without fear, without judging, my skin is purple, I'm glowing silver, or I have very large eyes and I'm 15 feet tall. It's okay. It's okay. Because the foundation of who we are, it's life reaching out for life. It's creation unfolding into creation. And it's really about expansion and soul recognition. So we are at that time. This is why I am here. And we have reached that momentum. And I know we have to be patient. I know that there's a lot of movement, a lot of changes. Take the time to breathe. Ask Gaia, beautiful mother pearl here, this beautiful blue pearl, ask her to be your foundation. Ask the star nations, your guides, your beautiful higher self, your soul group will come with you. Ask, I need assistance. Reveal to me now. I am ready to take on the next step. I am ready to take on the next level of multidimensional education or enlightenments or integrating practices. Ask, how can I be of service to the light today?
That's a beautiful thing to say. How can I be of service to the light today? That's really beautiful. And every one of us can ask that. How can I be of service to the light today? That's really beautiful. Wow. It feels as if we have so much to look forward to, Viviane. So many amazing things to look forward to. And we're
We
in
do.
this process right now.
Absolutely. And thank you for mentioning this, Pam. It really is. And you have a lot of support. Walk among the giants. You are these beautiful galactic royalties, and you have a lot of assistance. We understand there's been a lot of pushback. Yes, there's been also a lot of interference, but those interferences are simply afraid of losing their existence. That's what they're afraid of. They afraid that they will no longer pertain, that they will lose their identity, they will lose their existence, that they will return to oblivious. But there's no such thing. So Arcturian being, we are known for who we are, for our high quality. We exhume pure love. We are radiant beings. And we also work with different step down frequencies. Some of them are more in the dark light polarity. And we coach them, we offer our help to help them return back to the pathway of the one creator, so they can return and feel included, so they can remember the pathway within themselves. And believe me, we have done that in spade on the planet. Oh boy, we have for working a lot. It's on and off, 24/7. We are always there. And my Arcturian father, beautiful vessel, is in proximity, actually between Jupiter and the Earth. We stay there, we monitor, we support the light with many other star regency councils and other beautiful beings under the Earth Hierarchical Spiritual Committee and Council of Light, overseen by Master Sananda and other masters. So it's a collaborative effort. It's a collaboration of love. It's a collaboration to support and uplift life. And that's part of our essence of what we do.
Beautiful. And I have to ask this, Viviane. It's quite a brave question because I don't know what your answer is going to be. But how is astrology going to change as we go through these times?
Ah, that's a beautiful question. And something comes, I receive an answer, but more for you. May I share that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think so.
They said, dear one, be confident. You are already known as a very well-established astrologer, if you want to call it this way. You've done this in many other star systems. You've been helping many other form of civilizations. You've been working with many other councils. And so what you come here to soul level is just an aspect or reminiscence of that remembrance of the knowledge that you brought with you at the soul level as part of your design. And you simply have learned to adapt it in a language that fits this reality. But once you're released from the confinement of the linguistic ability of expressing astrology here, you're going to start to tune in to these ancient memories that part of your soul akashic field, and you're going to be able to implement naturally the next level of what astrology will be about. So trust, it's already embedded in you.
Well, that's a beautiful message, which I wasn't expecting, Viviane. Thank you. Thank you so much. So no pressure there then. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So, wow. So it seems that really it's all just about opening our hearts, living in love, trusting in this amazing future vision for humanity in which we're going to be healthier. I expect we're going to live longer. We're going to be much more collaborative. We are going to be able to use our manifesting abilities and our co-creation abilities to a much greater extent. We're much more multi-dimensional beings going forwards. And it sounds very, very beautiful. And I feel we're absolutely on the precipice of all of this starting to unfold right now. And would that be true? Because that's why you're here now.
Magnificent. What you said, magnificent. It summarized the many keywords. That's exactly it. I will add one level layer quickly, is if you have loved ones, friends, dear ones, people around your community, your town, your country, who seems to be moving in another direction, ask the higher presence of who they are to guide them with love, with sacredness. And remember, now all souls may not be completely ready to embrace that path. In their own time, souls will be allowed to evolve one way or another. We have seen and we still work with other home world and other civilization in different parts of the multiverse who are even at a lower state that you are right now.
Yeah.
But that's because that's where they need to be. So to you, you will feel very advanced compared to them in a certain perspective, true. But because that's not what they're ready for. So embrace and know and hold with certainty in your heart that every soul that is part of this creation is always allowed to evolve and take the journey that the soul needs. This is something we do in our realm. Souls come to us, souls who leave the earth from their incarnation come to us. We guide them to the next level, what is suited for that soul. Some of them becomes guardians, others choose to stay as a teacher for loved ones or their family or their ancestors. Others will integrate the multidimensional aspect of themselves and going into the next upper universe. There's a multitude. I've seen different branches, what we call plane of existence. And so what you're doing on the micro level here on this planet will have beautiful ripple effect to space and time, into the Akashic records in ways that you have no concept just yet. So understand how powerful, significant you are. One person uplifts thousands, and those who seems to resist, it's oftentimes fear. And that fear energy, it's part of what we're helping to release, to dissipate. We're shifting that energy. And that's what I do, Pam, every day. My work dedication, my life passion. I work with people, hundreds of people per month on a private coaching level. That's in addition to being a founder of the official Arcturian University and for the Universal Consciousness community. What we offer, it's a sanctuary, the one and only on the planet. We are a sanctuary for spiritually engaged individuals of all across the world, ready to embrace that multidimensional education. And that education is allowing that soul, you individually, within the collective, to evolve in the way that you need. And this is why my work is shifting a lot in that direction. And I have a joy of, I travel all over the world, and I will continue to do, to continuing to implement, bring the frequencies and shift and evolve and laugh and ponder and sit with you and share a nice cup of tea. Huh? Very important.
That's right, very English. I have absolutely loved this, Viviane. This amazing magical mystery tour we've been on in the last hour, and I know your work is extraordinary, exceptional, and very, very high level. And this is such a unique opportunity to really benefit from all of Viviane's Arcturian wisdom. If you go and join her on some of her classes in her Arcturian University, as I say, I'll put all of the details below of how you can engage with her and get involved in her podcast, because you're also running a lot of podcasts recently. So there's such a wealth of material there for people to really benefit from. So you've given us so many gifts in this last hour. So is there anything you'd like to leave us with, Viviane, after this this amazing ride through the universe?
Well, thank you very much. I would say our core philosophy is choose reascension. And what is reascending is returning to your natural state, returning to a higher form. You releasing yourself from the step down frequencies or experiences, and you're allowing yourself to shift again. And our beautiful frequency signatures say, stay in your light. And you feel the power behind that statement. Stay in your light. It was bring you back in alignment with who you are. You can be grounded in that loving presence. Trust yourself explicitly. Know what you know. Own what you know and who you are, and live impeccably in your authenticity.
Yeah, beautiful. That is so important going forwards. Integrity, humility, and authenticity, I think, are kind of entry points for these higher dimensions as well. That's absolutely crucial. Wow, this has been absolutely magnificent, Viviane. I've loved it, and I hope everyone out there has loved it as much as I have. So I just really want to thank you, Viviane. I know you're incredibly busy, and really want to thank you for taking the time to share this this information with the audience, because I think you're going to get a lot of interest in what you're doing, because it's so very unique, and we're blessed to have you.
I
So
am blessed to be with you as well, Pam. I want to thank you for opening our door to us with such generosity and an open heart. I am really grateful. Thank you for everyone watching and just receive as we share. And please understand it's many beings who share with you, and it's many of us speaking in the oneness of one conduit. And we continue to walk this path with you. So, with gratitude and love, thank you so much.
thank you so much, Vivian, and love to everybody. Sending lots of love to you all. God bless. Take care. Be back very soon.